Everybody, Pastor Jeff here again. Good to be with you again this week. Start off with a little bit of a joke. My family, the Cranston side of the family, immigrated from Scotland back in the day, about 4 or 5 generations ago. So I've got a joke here about a Scotsman and Albert Einstein. Now, I got this joke from my friend Ravi Zacharias. I've been going back and watching a lot of videos with Ravi, missing him after he's passed away May the 19th. But he loved to tell this story, and I'm just going to change the nationality a little bit. But a Scotsman and Albert Einstein were on a flight, and it was an international flight, and it was very long. So Einstein says to the Scotsman who's seated next to him, he says, "Look, this is going to be a long flight. Why don't we play a little game with each other? We'll do kind of a question and answer thing. And to make it more interesting, we'll do it this way. You can ask me any question that you want, and if I don't know the answer, I'll pay you $500. And if I can ask you," Einstein said, "any question that I want and you can't answer it, you pay me $5. So the Scotsman's thinking, he says, "Okay, well, this sounds pretty good. You know, if I can't answer, I give him $5. If he can't answer, he pays me $500. Says, "Okay, let's do that." So Einstein says, "Okay, first question, what is the distance in miles between the Earth and the Moon? How far is the Earth and the Moon? How far are they apart?" The Scotsman racks his brain. He thinks and thinks and thinks, and nothing's coming to him, and he says, "I don't know the number, so I don't know the answer." So he reaches into his pocket and he hands Einstein $5. So now it's his turn to ask Einstein a question. He says, "What goes up a hill with 3 legs and comes back down the hill with 4 legs? What goes up a hill with 3 legs comes back down the hill with 4 legs?" Well, Einstein sits back and he thinks and thinks, and he draws on all of this vast store of knowledge, and he thinks this thing through, and he turns it around in his mind, and he, after about 5 minutes, he can't come up with the answer. And he says, I don't know, reaches into his pocket, pulls out 5 $100 bills, pays the Scotsman $500. Now it's Einstein's question to ask. He says, "Look, before I ask you my next question, I've got to know what goes up a hill with 3 legs and comes down a hill with 4 legs." And the Scotsman answers, "I don't know," and hands him $5. So the moral of the story is, be very careful who you get into some of these games with that we play as we meet people. I like that one. I want to take a couple of minutes with you today or tonight or in the morning, whenever you're watching this, to talk to you a little bit about when we start having live in-person services here again at LowCountry Community Church. That's going to happen on June the 28th, the last Sunday of the month. If you are getting these emails and so forth, you probably know that. You've probably seen that. But let me just take a moment, walk you through a couple of things. This has been a very long time. It was mid-March the last time we had services where you could come to church. And from the very beginning, and the reason that we closed things down as we did, we never closed the church down, but we just were unable to do our on-campus ministries. It really was just the reason we did it was to joyfully and lovingly take care of our neighbors. We've tried to have the golden rule in place here: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And we've got people from all walks of life, from all demographics. With this many people here at the size our church is, so we have tried to err on the side of caution, and it's been very demanding of all of us, of our patience, because we desperately want to get back in, but we just felt we haven't been able to do that up until this point. And so we're going to have our services back live here again, where you can attend on the 28th. Now, we have all of this on the website, so we've got an informational page for you. If you go to lowcountrycc.org and you look at the very top of it, you'll see something at the very top which says LCC on-campus services return June 28, reserve your seat. Now you click on that and you go to a page which says welcome home. And we have a tutorial, a registration tutorial, because in order to do this in the best, safest way possible, we are requiring that for all of us, we have to reserve our seats because we've got to maintain the social distancing. There are certainly limits in place on what we're able to do right away, right now. And we hope and pray that those limits will become a little bit less and less as time goes on. But you see the news as I do. You know that there are an increase of cases here around the state. And so we want to be extremely, extremely careful. But we also want to make it as easy for you as we possibly can. And so we have been monitoring for a long time now a lot of what others have been doing. We've been monitoring guidelines from the state, from DHEC, from the CDC, and best practices around the country and what other churches, how they have been doing it. And all I can tell you is after a significant amount of discussion and prayer and planning, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, we're just trying to think through everything we can possibly think through. We're excited to be able to reopen. Please make note, though, that on the 28th, our service times go to 8, 10, and 12. 8, 10, and 12. You know, we're going to be at a reduced capacity. We're going to be, having an environment that allows for physical distancing. So please help us with that by reserving your seat. And if you don't feel comfortable attending in person, that's absolutely fine. We will continue to do the best job we can with providing online worship services. So what can you expect? You can expect one of the cleanest places you will go into in the public setting. We are sanitizing and cleaning between the services. All of our volunteers, all of our staff will be wearing masks. We're asking all of us to wear masks, but we really can't require them. But unless, staff are on stage or volunteers are on stage, all volunteers and staff will be masked up. And attendance at our services is being limited so that we can allow for safe distancing between you and others. So you can go online and make a reservation, and that will be up and you'll be able to do that. I think you can do that now. What are we doing here at the church to keep you safe? All services are going to be clean and sanitized between the services. That's why we had to change the service times. The service times have been adjusted to allow staff and volunteers the time that is needed to safely move everybody in and out of the auditorium and the concourse and clean and sanitize everything between the services. I know you understand that, and it's not the easiest thing that we've ever done, but it's something that we must do, we're going to do, because we want it to be as safe and as comfortable for you as possible. Again, if you're not comfortable attending at this point, that's fine. We have our services live on our website, lowcountrycc.org, live on Facebook, live on YouTube Live, and you can just join us there. What about kids? What about children? Well, for right now, we're asking you to have your children in the main auditorium. We're not offering any children's ministry at this point yet. Will be a family-friendly experience. There's going to be activity sheets for children, crayons, that kind of thing. You might want to bring a tablet and some headphones for your children, depending on how well they can do in there. Regular LCC kids ministries are going to return at a later date. We're still looking at all of that and weighing all of that out. For our students, our middle school students, our high school students, they will also be in the main auditorium as they always are, and some of their midweek services and their ministries have been starting back up. So it's going to be different. It's going to be quite different, but we get to gather again and be together. If you can wear a mask, let's just practice the safety as much as we possibly can, thinking of the other person, as Scripture teaches us, as more important than themselves, as ourselves do unto others, as you would have them do unto you. And may I ask you for your patience and your kindness? None of us on our staff here have been trained in this. And so we have had to learn a great deal and train ourselves and get training and talk to people and learn best practices and all of that. And our task force team has been meeting for weeks and weeks and weeks and has done a really good job of doing what we have to do right now. We're praying and hoping it will get better. It's all in God's hands, but we want to make sure that we can keep it as safe a place, as clean and sanitized a place as we possibly can, because we don't want anything negative happening here with the virus and so forth. So we're doing everything that we can, everything in our power to do that. So please be patient with us. Please be kind. Volunteers are going to be helping you. Staff will be helping you. And we want to make it a wonderful experience as you return to church soon, I hope. So anyway, there it is. And we're looking forward to seeing you. Now, this Sunday, the 21st, all online still, 8:30, 10, 11:30. The 28th, if you register and you reserve your seats, you can come join us at 8, 10, or 12. Our online services will be 8, 10, and 12 as well. So until then, stay away from any Scotsmen that want to get you involved in a Q&A game. And I hope you have a great week. Thanks for hanging out with me here, spending a few moments with me today.